Who that? Wait. Who that? What? Who that? Who that? Wait. Who that? What? 28. What? Who that? Hold that. What? Who that? Wait. Free bags. What? Who that? Whoa. Slim weight. Whoa. Who that? Wait. Who that? What? Who that? What? Who that? Base. Who that? Wait. Who that? What? Who that? What? Who that? Base. Who that? What? 28.
Welcome back to Who That 242. This is episode 8. And for this episode, I wanted to focus on videographers, and not just videographers, those who share the one passion I have in this music. So I have today Kyle Ferguson of Jiggy Productions.
What's happening? What's happening? Thanks
So
for having me.
my first question is, what was your first camera?
First camera, I think when I back in school when I really got into it, probably was a Canon T2i.
So good man. My first camera was a T3, so I don't feel too bad. Like we started out at the humble beginnings.
Oh man, for sure, for sure.
So you mentioned school. So is that how you got into videography? Did you go to school first, or did it find you later on?
So I went to school to do audio and video production. I always had a passion for it. I started out from my passion thing started when I was in church, doing like audio stuff and on the media team there. And then when I went to school for it, it actually was focused more on audio. And my internship when I was in college was actually at a record label. So
Nice.
my passion has always been for storytelling. I think it started out audibly and then moved visually. When I did the internship at the record label, we started to shoot videos for some of the artists there, and that's when my passion really grew for video.
You said church, so how did they get you to do it in church? Was they just trying to find something for you to do during church, or what about, how did they get you to do it for church?
Well, it was different ministries in church that they need help, and so like I had some friends who was doing the same thing and kind of got my interest, and so I said, you know what, why not? If I have the time, I have the passion to learn to do it, why not help out the church, and kind of started that.
So what part in school did you realize, okay, you know what, I want to do this for myself and make a company, and why you use the name Jiggy?
So, all right, so when I was in school, I don't think I even realized I wanted to start my own company. When I graduated college, I think I was just looking for a job that I'd be able to do what I did in school, anything audio or video related. But it wasn't until my wife and I got jobs at a church in Baltimore, and I started doing their media stuff part-time. And it really was them who kind of pushed me to say, like, look, like, you don't have to be full-time, we want you to be part-time because we really believe in you to be able to go out and pursue stuff on your own, which is what I did. I didn't even believe in it myself, and eventually the passion continued to grow, and then I realized that it is possible to do it on my own, and my wife continued to push me in that way. And then Jiggy Productions started when I started the company back in 2014. It's just a word that I said all the time. So it's a vintage word, it's an older word. A lot of people know, like from Will Smith, getting jiggy with it.
Yeah.
I like a lot of vintage, old school stuff. And so the idea behind it is I said it all throughout high school, like, everything jiggy, like everything cool. And so a lot of people know me by that already. And because I like the old school stuff, my idea behind it would be like, it's an old school way of doing things. I like the old school way of doing it, but with a new perspective. So that was kind of the way I looked at, starting Jiggy Productions.
It's very fitting that the first time you did it was at your church here, and the step that really pushed you to do it full time was a church in Baltimore. So it's really fitting that was your base.
That's on me the whole time. So
you graduate, move back home with your wife, and now you full-time entrepreneur. Talk to me about how did you tackle that coming to the Bahamas, where it wasn't really as much at the time. It was growing, but still, some people like me had to do it part-time, but you were able to tackle it full-time. Talk to me about that.
I mean, it's always going to be a challenge whatever field you go into entrepreneurship. I think starting out, I think it should always be something that you're passionate about.
Definitely.
And so because it's something I'm passionate about, so I got some advice when people say, why not just do it now when you're young? My wife and I moved back home, and it's kind of unexpected, just issues with our visa and whatnot, and they say, we have the opportunity to do it now. Why not just go ahead and do it? And if it failed, it failed. We'll be able to figure it out.
Like you said earlier, take calculated risks.
Right. We calculate the risk out, and we say, look, like, when else would I be able to have the opportunity to do this again at this age? So if I decided to take it, and then probably 2-3 months in, we just did all the legwork, did all the groundwork, put in the time in the meetings on the phone, meeting with people in person, show some of the work I was able to do in school in the U.S. before I had to move back home. And since then, God's really blessed us. We've been able to stay busy, just doing a lot of different stuff.
And that's how you make the bills, shooting the commercials and stuff, but your real passion is the music. Talk about some of the music videos you shot. I know about the one for Wendy, other two, the one for Chase, Repeat. Talk to me about that. And even I went to a show where you were for Mark Lupin, and you shot this live show. Talk to me about what drives you to the music. I wanted to tell that story.
Yeah, so I think, like I said, I think having that passion before a video of the audio, the music, I always really love music, and I love being able to tell a story through music. So overall, if I could tell a story with anything I do, I'm happy. But when I get to do it with music and music videos, that's my key. So I really love music videos. Being able to shoot with Chase, with Wendy, Shot some stuff for Matthew, and also I think we shot for Joe Capone when I first came back.
That was Island Boy. That was really, but that was actually my first Who That the last year, 2016. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, being able to do those things just continue to spark the creativity. Like I don't mind shooting other things. Like I said, once storytelling is involved, but that just really just gets my gears going when it comes to music and putting the visuals together for something like that.
And recently, y'all know I won Who That I won the Elevation Award for Who That second row, but you won the videographer of the year for Elevation Award. So talk to me about that.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a real. I said I think in my speech when I accepted the award, it was a real honor to be able to get that award. I had other people in my category.
You had Ferreno, Lovato, Miguel, who was also on this episode, Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel Davis, the camera guy, pushing out amazing stuff. A lot of people, I don't think they see a lot of this stuff yet, like they might be sleeping on him, but Miguel, he killing the game. And Vado always top of the line quality. He's still inspiring us, Conk Boy Film. So I mean, it was really an honor to be able to get that award. But I think, like I said, there's just like, we know, like when I came back home, I think it was a prime time for me to come back to meet all these other people who are doing work in the video industry, because I think the market is finally starting to grow in the Bahamas for that. I think it's always been kind of mediocre for a good while, and now that we're all here, it's good to be able to help push the industry to grow. And getting that award, I think it's just a step in that direction, and be able to show like people starting to recognize what good quality media, visuals, films look like. And so we always trying to push toward that direction.
So if there's one Bahamian artist you really wanted to work with, who would you work with? Like if you had to give a free music video away right now, a free one, and you know they'll say yes. Yeah. And if you have a free one in your pocket you to give away, who would you give it to right now?
Man, I don't know. It's tough. I really appreciate the fact that there's so many new artists now coming out. And I think that people are starting, with help of shows like what you have here, people are starting to recognize who they are. And I like a lot of different artists. I really like the content they're pushing out. I like the just the talent that people even recognize we have here. It's hard for me to put a finger on one. I don't know.
Personally, me, Dead or Alive, if I had a chance to go back to that, who that Ronnie Butler, I would. That's my one thing. Like if I had, I missed a chance, rest in peace, to get him. Who that?
I could agree with that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ronnie Butler, growing up, my aunts and my grandparents, I had CDs, Ronnie Butler, like physical hard copy CDs that I remember playing, and it's like, I wish I could do something with them for real.
So our next guest up is Tony Williams, and I know y'all have a personal working relation. Talk to me about that friendship with Tony Williams and how y'all get from being friends to actually, like, not really business partners because y'all love your own to the company, but y'all work together a lot.
Yeah. So me and Tony been boys from before we went off to school. So having that connection with him there, and then when we both up went out to school, we went to different schools, but we did similar stuff. Tony has a real eye, I feel like, for the arts and the creativity. And so whenever I have the opportunity to have him on set with me or just be able to collaborate on certain projects, it's just always a treasure to have him there with us, because I feel like he has that eye that I really value. And so being able to collaborate with him is just always fun. He's not only like he's a dope videographer and editor, but he's also my boy, so that makes the situation fun too.
Just before we let you go out of here, let people know where they could find you, so they want to book you for something, they want to watch your music videos, watch your commercials, where they could find you all the social media. So
website, jiggyproductions.com, Jiggy productions.com, Instagram, Facebook, jiggy.productions. That's pretty much everything there.
So this is the videographer episode. Up next we have Tony Williams, media, and after me with Miguel Davis. Davis the camera guy. Stay tuned for more Who That 242. I'm your host, Timmy. Mama! Just kill me. Mama! Life has just begun. But now I've gone and thrown it all away. We still here on the videographer episode of Who That 242. I'm Timmy, and my second guest today is Tony Williams Jr. So this is the artist, so I can't tell you ask you what your name is, but for like I asked Kyle earlier, what was your first camera?
My first camera that I owned was a Sony A57.
How you could just get a Sony for your first camera? Like I wish I could have pocket. My first camera was like a Canon T3, not even a Rebel. So why Sony? Why did you go with Sony for your first choice?
Actually, boy, Sony, I was looking at all the features what all the other cameras was given, and I look at the Sony camera, the A57, and that camera was feature back. I talking about for photography, had like must see 10 to 12 frames per second shooting, stuff like that. Good video quality, 60p, stuff like that, you know, slow motion stuff.
Right.
So I say I had to go with that, man. I was looking for months though.
Oh, so it wasn't an impulse. It wasn't an impulse choice. Like you did some research into it.
Yeah, I did it for months. And also, like when I went to school, we shot a lot on Sony cameras too. So I just was like going to the little brother.
So talk to me about your videographer journey. Like why you chose this lane. And you said you went to school. So talk to me about the day you decided this is what you want to do for a career and your school choice. And talk to me about that school.
I went to Taylor University. I studied film and media production. Originally, I wasn't going to be doing media. I was going to do computer science. Not computer science. I was going to do computer information services.
Ah, okay. Me too. Yeah, everyone know my story. I said CIS. I cut my hair and then go into journalism.
Exactly. And when I went to Taylor, when they only had computer science, like the software part of it.
He's like, I got swing. He's like, I got swing. I came here for one thing and I didn't even have it.
Exactly. You know, so then that hurt my brain. The first class, I say I was done. You know.
So you didn't even try. You didn't even try. You say, you know what? I wish I learned from him. If I try, it took me 3 years to get it, but only did it after one class.
After one class, I say I was done. But it was a search after that, you know, because that first semester I was done with computer science. The next semester, my freshman year, stateside, I just was searching pretty much. I still was searching. I was doing like physical ed, you know, stuff.
Trying to find something that you could probably good at.
Yeah, exactly. And then I stumbled upon media because my daddy is in media as well. So I kind of grew up watching them do stuff on the radio and stuff. I thought it was cool, but I never thought that I wanted to do it. You know? Yeah. So the next year, I looked at the media program and I said, you know what, let me give it a shot.
And how did Dad feel? I know because I guess he's Sonny Williams Senior.
Yeah.
How did he feel when you said, Dad, I'm going to do this as a career choice? How did he feel when you told him that?
Well, he was proud because originally I wanted to do audio. I wanted to do the radio thing as well when I went into the media business. So, but he was proud. He was happy. You know, you don't say too much.
Yeah.
You know,
he sound back with that glimmer, like our fathers do. Like, that's my son.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so he was pretty proud. You know, but once I started going into video more, I started trying to not going in to create my own lane, but I just liked it more. Like we did more video classes inside school, so that's why I just ended up going to.
Talk to me about graduating, coming back home. You know, our industry is starting to grow. Talk to me about how did you attack trying to develop a repertoire in the Bahamas. You know, it's about who you know. Like, if you are a new videographer, that most likely to pick someone who they know over you because they just comfortable with them. So how did you break into the industry over there when you graduated?
Well, I started working with Neville Smith School Production. So I started working with him as an intern, just coming up, like being on shoots with him, doing some editing here and there for him. And that's what helped me to gather more experience as well as networking, because I started talking to other filmmakers, videographers, while I was on shoots with him, working with them, you know. So that's kind of how I broke into it. Started shooting my own little thing here and there, started getting clients here and there as well. So that's how I started coming up.
I know you also a part of the shift of culture. Like, talk to me about that.
Well, you know, Travis Miller, he and along with a couple other guys, they had that group. So, and I work with Travis a lot as well. He's my business partner too. So it's just naturally, and he's a friend as well. So I knew him before that. So it just kind of like segued into that, and it helped me as well with trying to for me to be my own brand, essentially. So, because it's full of entrepreneurs in that group, naturally, you know. So I just was trying to gather experience from them or get knowledge from them in terms of the entrepreneur way of, you know, of going. So I tried to get that from them, and that helped me in my business as well.
Talk to me about your favorite video, the one favorite you worked on, like you helped someone with, and the favorite video that you shot, like was the idea.
Favorite video that I helped somebody with.
Too much.
Ooh, favorite video. It has to be a music video, so it has to have been one with with Jiggy because we worked on a couple music videos before. Probably the Chase Fernando. Repeat.
And she's also a former Who That Gas Checker, Chase Down Repeat. And actually, he said, Jiggy, you get them on early in the show, so good that, and talk about that working with other videographers in the country, because even though we always want the money, but it's enough money for everyone. So talk to me how easy it probably makes for you to work with other people in the same layer.
So basically it was like, it's just collaboration, really and truly, you know, just everybody just trying to collaborate in this community where it's no egos attached, really. If you need help, you just go to another person and say you need help with this shoot, and they're glad, more than happy to come on and share this project with you, you know. So it's just really a collaborative community, basically.
So early in the year, I saw you at with Neville at the film festival and a few movies you worked on. I think you've been to Nagua for one, or you really worked at that one? The St. John's one, Ragged Island.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how important it is to showcase our stories in the Bahamas and what it means to you to get these raw, truth. Because more people know people from Ragged Island. You went down there and you did all these stuff. Or did you go or you just did the editing?
No, I went. I was the second camera for that. So that was an experience too, just going down there and seeing what.
Was that your first time in Ragged Island?
Yeah.
See, I haven't been yet. Yeah. Of all the times to see it, you saw it after the hurricane or you passed through.
And it's only a few people that actually still
Living there.
there. You know, there's some that live in Nassau and keep on going back to try to build up the community again. But there are only a few that actually lives in Ragged Island right now. You know?
So looking forward to the future, what type of film are you going to be interested to work? Because I really appreciate what you and Sellers Cove doing. I think it's, what's the phrase for them? Right, I love those. But when can we get Tony's series, something like that? When we can get the Tony Williams branded series, stories, movies, short stories?
Working on it. I have some ideas in my head that I really want to flesh out, more pertaining to the music side of things. I can't really say too much yet.
Of course. But that's a good point. So that's more where your spirit is going, to the music video side of it. Right. So are there any artists you would like to work with right now?
I've worked with him before. I told him this before. He's my very Bahamian artist, Judah the Lion. Okay. I told him that we still need to work some more.
I think you did Mad. Was that Mad you worked with him?
I worked with him. No, that was Sellers Cove. I was on that shoot though, and but I worked with him for the Ease Up video with Twin Them.
With Twin Them, yeah.
Yeah. So I told him I want to work with him again, along with some other artists. I haven't contacted them as well as yet.
But you're putting this together.
Yeah. Just like day by day, just thinking of new people to make a contact with. You know. So hopefully something comes up soon. I hoping.
So let the people know where they could find you. That's your YouTube, your Vimeo, your social media. They want to research you to shoot your video. They want to watch your videos. Where can they link you at?
Well, for Vimeo, for my videos, you go to Vimeo. I am Tony Williams Media on my Vimeo. Instagram, Tony Williams Media. Facebook, Tony Williams Media. All are Tony Williams Media.
Like as a media person, you understand the importance of having synergy across all brands. So basically, Google them, Tony Williams Media, anywhere. So we still have one more person left in this episode, Miguel Davis, aka Davis, the camera guy. Tony Williams, I can't wait to see more of your music videos. I really enjoyed Repeat what you and Jiggy did. And stay tuned for more Who That 242.
So I met this dude on Friday of last week. Really caught my eye every time he walked past me. Kinda light-skinned in a body like an athlete. Didn't know my name, but I told him when he asked me, you must be a model. I said, I'm a singer. Actually, well, I must be a winner, cause a singer is my fancy. Couple days later, now we chilling in the backseat, smoking both like we swinging on a trapeze. I'm looking at his lips, I wanna kiss him so badly. He's looking like my sentiments exactly. Started getting
Kujia. We are the iconic sock brand company of the Bahamas, telling the historic and beautiful story of our country through uniquely designed pieces. We partner with private sectors to educate our followers about the cultural, environmental, and historical facts of this great Bahama land. Join us today. Kujia, walk with confidence.
This new thing in me, God, do it now. This isn't about music now. You say you married to the backslider. Well, I just pray that I renew my vows. Can't lie, it was different with me. I just pray the devil keep his distance from me. Say I ain't no Christian, so don't listen to me. You should hear them bad things that they wishing on me, yeah.
So we still at episode 8 of Who That 242 on the videography episode. Earlier I had Kyle, Jiggy Productions, Ferguson. We had Tony Williams Jr. Now we have JMAVS Inc, Davis camera guy, Miguel Davis. Too much names. Before I get into your names, let me know your first camera.
The first camera was a Canon T3.
Mine too. So unlike Kyle, I think he had a Sony. Tony, we started small. We had a little, but I've been to the film festival. Yeah, but I mean, shooting movies on T3.
I mean, well, oh Lord, I shoot that video on a T3i.
Right.
That was one of the biggest music videos, what came out of the Bahamas.
So why videography? What got you into this field? Like you went to school for it, you was just playing around. Why videography?
No, I was a COB at the time, and we was just watching. Me and Christon and Seymour that started off with JMAVS Inc. We was watching some Bahamian music videos, and we was like, these videos is trash.
Yeah,
He was like, wait, I ain't really nobody doing it.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, we can do this, man. We can get a camera. And we didn't know where we was gonna get this camera from. We just know, we wanted to do
Save the
videos.
last money.
Yeah, and long story short, I helped a friend out with a ride, and that ended up later turning into me being able to learn videography for free by Travon Patton.
Catman.
Yeah. So shout out to Catman, he was basically the driving force, and everything after that is history.
So you talk about Ola. Talk to me about how you and Charles were working on that song, on that music video.
Oh Lord was, Travis sent me the song. I sit down, I listened to the song, and I was like, wait, it's hot. So Oh Lord came out that Friday, and that Saturday we shoot the video, and by that next Saturday the video was out. It was like, we just was getting everything together. We shoot between that weekend, that came out that Friday, that Saturday we shoot from morning till evening. Sunday we got some last, just, B-roll scenes. And by the next week, the video was out.
I think it's still probably the most watched video on JMAVS Inc.
Yeah, if you go on my YouTube page, JMAVS Inc, it's still, I think it's at about 57,000 views. Yeah.
Nice. And also it was on Real Star Hip Hop and
Yeah,
vlogs.
I was like, I sitting down, and I got a text early in the morning, and it's like, wait, check Real Star. Going over Real Star. Travis Bow unsigned. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Logo booming.
Yeah, what's really going on, But since then, I took a bit of a break just to sit down and reevaluate myself, as a videographer. And came back and just been going hard ever since.
JMAVS Inc, where that name came from?
JMAVS Inc. Well, me and Christon again, while we was students of Catman, we were sitting down in the studio, and he was like, I want you to have your own name. I want you to have your own brand.
And I said that he didn't want to just bring you all under his company. He wanted you to have your own. And I think that's a very important thing, because he could see y'all drive and say, they could help me become bigger.
He saw the vision ahead of us, so because we was kind of buggy. He's like, he's our teacher. You don't want us coming here.
Work for you.
Yeah, so he's like, no, I want y'all, be your own brand or whatever. Cool. So for 3 weeks, we sitting down and we trying to pick out this name. And one day, I was frustrated. And I was like, wait, I'm so tired of all of this. I just want to listen to music and shoot videos. And Christon was like, wait, hold on. Just music and videos.
Easy like that.
Just when he's like, just music and videos, I was like, JMAVS. I was like, yeah, we can work with that, and later on we decided to change it to just movies and visuals. So that was basically how JMAVS was born. Yeah, that was the origin of JMAVS.
And talking about the logo, y'all had over the years a few logos.
Oh yeah, that logo, the logo changed at least. I think people saw it change 3 times, but we actually changed that 5 times.
Yeah.
We had a mascot at one point, and we just got it to the place where I feel like it needed to be, and the final logo is where it's at now. Shout out to Jacoby. Jacoby.
So your first company, JMAVS, now you had to get your own brand name, like I've done with Stream Migos and Timmy. You have your own brand name, Davis Camera Guy. Talk to me how important it is to have your personal brand.
Well, it dawned on me one day when I was on a shoot. Everybody was calling me Mavs. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because, you know, this is the company.
Yeah, this ain't me.
But this ain't me.
I named
you
Miguel.
know, you know,
I'm
like
Davis.
when you talk about JMAVS, you're talking about the company as a whole, but you need to know like who I am, you know, and just for personal branding. And if we knew the power of personal branding ahead of time, I think we'd have been way further than we are now.
Agreed.
So I was sitting down talking to my girlfriend one day, and I was like, you know, babe, I think it's time we just find a name. And I was like, you're not rocking with the camera guy. So she was like, why you just don't use Davis the camera guy?
Right.
I was like, that's kind of cool. You know?
It's sketchy.
It's kind of nice, Davis the camera guy. And ever since, you know, it comes so easy, you know. And it's like you don't even be looking for the name, but it just naturally comes in some way or form. So that's how it came about. And Davis the camera guy is, yeah. And for people,
You can't see it, but he got it on his slippers. See, so branding is serious. Branding is a serious thing.
branding is everything. You know, a lot of people now, when they see Davis the camera guy, they feel as though that's something different, and I tell them, saying, no, JMAVS Inc. is still a company.
Yeah,
Davis the camera guy is just
director.
It's just the director, you know.
Yeah.
You see it. Yeah.
So everyone we had this episode so far, Kyle, he said his favorite videos are music. Tony's music. So I know you, music videos. What about music draw you? Like, because you could shoot commercials. Like, you live in the Bahamas, you could go on a boat and shoot by the water. But why music videos? What about music speaks to you that you have to shoot a really good music video?
Well, you know, I used to rap.
I want
You know, I used to rap, and it was always the problem. We had the content, we had the music, but we never had the visuals to bring it to life. And I feel like, you know, that's what
like the missing link.
yeah, that was the missing link. And I was like, man, something missing, you know. And I able to do something, so I kind of like took a step back from
The
rap
music.
itself. No, I took a step back from rap. Music's still a part of me,
Yeah.
you know, because I listen to music every day. So I still have my opinions on, you know, this don't sound right or that don't look right or whatever. So I normally just like run my clients through the mud when I tell them, say, hey, listen, this have to be like this because the music has to coincide with the video,
Right.
you know? They mesh together. Like you can't have your music overhyping your video or your video overhyping the music.
It have to be one.
Yeah.
one shoot.
And that's how the songs mesh together, and that's what I try to do with every video I do. Every video I try to do something better than I did in the last video, you know?
Music, J. Cole just dropped this album, and like, so talk to me about what would you do, just like, because you saw J. Cole's album cover.
Yeah.
So talk to me about something. How does something like that speak to you visually? Like, what you would, if you were tasked with shooting a video for him, just off the cover alone, like, take me through. If Cole come right now, say in the Bahamas, shoot this video for me, what you do?
Well, I watched ATM last night.
I just watched it this morning. That's trippy.
That was like completely artistic. You know, it was a full creative feel and stuff like that I can appreciate. You know, but I think if I had to shoot a song, it would have to be Motivate. Yeah, Motivate, you know, that Get Money. That sound for the
My personal favorite probably is Photograph, and I can just see like you have a music, a girl walking on the beach, because you talk about how he fell in love with the photograph. Maybe he liked this guy, and I saw, you know, how she really looked.
You know, it definitely, you'd have to do something completely different for him. You know, he's in a different space from the first time and we saying, you know, Born Sinner and Simba and all that. He's definitely in a different space. So I would have to sit down, you know, that's like a big thing for me. J. Cole want me to shoot a video for him. But that's like Big Sean saying, yo, I want you to shoot a video for me. I gotta think of something completely out of the box.
So before we get there, let people know where they can find your videos, your vlogs, if they don't follow you. I know you just reached like 5,000 followers on IG.
Instagram,
me too.
6,000.
Oh, see, I behind him. I behind him.
If you're on this road to 10K.
Let them know where they can find
If
you.
you're on this road to 10K. You can follow me on Instagram at Davis the Camera Guy. At Davis the Camera, simple as that. On YouTube, you can search Davis the Camera Guy or JMAVS Inc. and you can see all of my vlogs, all of my tutorials, all of my music videos, all of the content that's gonna be there between there and my Instagram.
So this was Davis the Camera Guy, Miguel Davis. He have too much names. Shout out to Jiggy earlier, Tony Williams Jr. This is episode 8 of Who Dat. Stay tuned for more.
Who that? What? Who that? Who that? What? Who that? Wait. Who that? What? Who that? Who that? Wait. Who that? What? 28. What? Who that?